Alright, YouTubers, the Kraton finally got its well-deserved upgrades. So, I was running the hot racing diff cases and the outcasts, and they were badass. So, I got the front and the back. We got the front and back chassis braces. It's going with the quickrun ESC. And this is a Hobbywing 2000 kV. I think it's a 4072 with the new hot racing heat sink fan on there. Savox 1210 with the Voltage Hobbies servo mount. We got RPM bumpers, arms all the way around. RPM front bumper. Hopefully I'm not going to regret it, but I bought these GPMs a long time ago, and since I had it apart, I put the front and back GPM pin mounts on. It's got the Mugen MBX5T shocks front and rear, and the Trencher 40 series. So, needless to say, I had some severe grinding going on. I thought it was one of my diff gears. So, last week I tore everything down, went through the back, because that's the easiest one to get to. Tested it, still grinded. Tore the front apart and the center, and found out it was rubbing on the chassis. So I redid everything, put it back together, still grinding. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, I was just gonna run it, and whatever diff went, then I'd know which one it was, because by that time I was frustrated. Well, I was like, what the hell, I'm gonna get the diff cases for it, spend the money. I bought the new diffs from Jenny's RC, brand new V3 diffs, and the hot racing diff cases. So, I got the center mount, because what happened was the center mount was the plastic one. This is a newer one, but the bearing in there would wear out, which in turn gave this play. So every time you gave it throttle, this would shift forward, and that's when it was grinding on the chassis. So I went through everything, still that. So I didn't know what the hell was going on, because when I took the diffs apart, I didn't see any missing teeth. Everything seemed fine, so I didn't like put all new. I just checked them and figured they were fine. I put the new motor mount, the new center motor mount, the plastic one, and it was still issues. So this time around I did everything. I tore it all apart, put it. So this is if you guys are going to get the V3 diff cases, they did change them. They're not the same as the V2, and they just put the thicker webs right here. They actually address the issues of the diffs itself, the tolerances, because normally you would put the Mugen shim kit, you put the one behind each satellite dish, satellite gear, and then you would put one extra one behind each spider gear. So you would have 2-1. If you do it, you know what I'm talking about. Well, when I had done that, it was binding. So I had to go back and keep the spider gears the same, one on each side, and I just put the satellite, the washer, the shim behind the satellite gear. Then it was still tight, but it's better tight than loose. So if you guys are doing that, don't go to the old method of bulletproofing it, because you're just going to tear it apart and have to redo it. So just put the one satellite gear behind the satellite shim behind the satellite gear on each one, and then you'll be fine. Now, another thing was when I put the hot racing, I took the diff out, obviously, and put it into the hot racing one. I took them all apart and put this sealed bearings, and you only need the one bearing shim. 2 is too much. 1 is still tight. So I put the one bearing shim on the opposite side, and it worked butter smooth, but there was play. So I just put it back on there. So if you do use the V3 diff for the hot racing diff case, just do it as normal. The one of the bearing shims, alright, on the left side, and you'll be good. It's got a little high spot on the one, because the tolerances, they must have adjusted it on the hot racing, because my old hot racing that I did with the Outcast, I had the V2, and I had to put like almost 3 of these, and I had to shim the input gear. So you don't have to do nothing now. Just do a normal diff change and everything's perfect. Alright, so this is a shout out to RC Rider. I did a video where I moved my ESC back and re-drilled holes. Well, I took his advice, and he just took this out and drilled the quick run underneath and put the 2 screws, because you can't, I couldn't get the 4 screws in there because there's not enough room, and I didn't even Dremel out that little piece. I just kept it on an angle, put the 2 screws, it's in there good enough, ain't going nowhere, and that's that. So this should be all good to go, man. What happened was I tore everything apart, did everything, and went to set my play in the pinion, in the spur, and I noticed after all these hours, I noticed my motor had a high spot in that. Something's wrong with this motor. So the whole time I think it was my freaking motor that was doing that grinding sound. It still works, but I don't know. I don't know if part of the rotor in there is messed up or what. I'll have to check it out. So that's why I just swapped it. I put this new Hobbywing motor in there that I had in my Mugen, and that one's going for some diff work. So I took the motor out of that. And we got the quick run, so we got the whole system. So that's it. It's got the hot racing wing mount. RPM wing mount. I have the hot racing one ordered. That didn't come in. I don't know why. Everything else did, but it's good enough for now. Alright, I hope that guy helps you out a lot, because yeah, I tore this thing apart freaking 3 times, all the diffs. You know how many hours that takes to tear everything apart, do your diffs, re-oil them, put them back together, and it should finally be good. So alright, that's it. We're at just about 9 minutes, so I'm out.